Okay, well, welcome everyone. My name is RJ Theofield, and I'm joined by my colleagues at the City of Hoboken, the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, and their contractor, EE Crews. Tonight, we're going to provide an update on construction activities for the southern and northern resist structures that are part of the Rebuild by Design Hudson River project. Before we move on to the presentation, I wanted to just kind of go over some housekeeping for Zoom. Um, if if you look in the bottom of your Zoom screen, there should be a Q&A button. Please feel free to use that throughout the presentation to submit questions. Following the presentation, we will go through each of those questions and provide a response. And then with that, I'm going to turn it over to Isabella to get us started.
Hello, everyone. My name is Isabella Brichetta. I'm the project community construction liaison. And one second. Yeah.
Isabella,
so
you can see the screen.
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, I can see it now.
Right.
Thank you. So welcome to NJDEP's Rebuild by Design Hudson River Project updates. Today's agenda is the following: an introduction to the team, ways on how to stay informed, the project's purpose and general construction scope of work, quality of life, maintenance, traffic, noise, dust, Hoboken South right-of-way areas, Hoboken North right-of-way areas, and then at the end, we'll open the space for questions. On this slide, you can see some of our team members and partnerships for this project. Today, Chris and I will be walking you through today's presentation. If you're interested in learning more about the project, you can use this QR code to revisit our previous meeting recordings. So when it comes to our project's public outreach efforts, we would like to highlight on this slide some important information. You can find the link and QR codes for our website and weekly construction advisories. Make sure you sign up for these advisories that go out every Friday with construction updates for the following week. Also, if you have any further questions or concerns, you can leave a message or write an email to myself. And I check these messages daily and will ensure your questions and concerns reach the appropriate person. Here you can see our phone number and our email. And for further assistance, you can also reach out to our Hoboken contacts, Caleb Stratton and Jennifer Gonzalez. And on this slide, we just want to point out that the project will be installing a flood wall with floodgates and integrating a resiliency park along with other urban amenities. The project is happening now and through the summer of 2027. The project area consists of the northern and southern alignments on northern Hoboken and southern Weehawken. We are on the 13th Street and Washington Street to Lincoln Harbor Road. On southern Hoboken and northern Jersey City, we're on Hoboken Avenue and Cole Street to Newark Street and Washington Street. Now, Chris Corliss will continue to guide you through the rest of the presentation.
Thanks, Isabella. So tonight I'm going to give a general update on the progress of the project and where we're going to be heading next. First, I'm going to give an overview of how the construction is going to proceed. Then I'm going to focus on the southern right-of-way on Washington Street, and then followed by, in the north, the right-of-way on Garden Street and the alleyway. And then I'll conclude with quality of life items. So the following is a typical construction sequence as the project progresses. Some of the early construction activities will include installing piles and sheeting. So the left photo is a illustration of the piles and the sheeting that have already been installed in Harborside Park. And then once the piles and sheeting are installed, the contractor will excavate and install the foundation for the structure. So the next photo to the right of that illustrates the rebar, which will be subsequently filled with concrete. And then the wall stem will be installed as shown in the middle. After the structure is constructed, the gate structures will be delivered and installed. So an example illustration is shown towards the right of the slide. And the final steps will be to install the urban amenities and plantings. So now I'm going to move into the south. So in the south, the contractor is going to be mobilizing for the resist structure on Washington Street between Newark and Observer on or around July 8th. This work is anticipated to occur in the summer and into the fall. The work is anticipated to occur on the eastern side of Washington Street. But I would like to note that continual access to residents and businesses will be maintained, and any temporary access adjustments will be coordinated in advance of the work. I'd also like to note to accommodate some of the displaced users of the loading zone on Washington Street between Observer Highway and Newark Street, the Hoboken Department of Transportation and Parking will temporarily extend the length hours of the loading zone on the east side of Washington Street between Newark Street and First Street. The new loading zone hours will be Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now I'm going to move into the north. So starting next week, work with the resist structure will be commencing on Garden Street. This work will be occurring this summer and into the fall. And like I mentioned, just on in the south, continual access to residences and businesses will be maintained, and any temporary adjustments needed will be coordinated in advance of the work. I'd also like to note that certain street trees along Garden Street, where necessary, in collaboration with the city's Shade Tree Commission, there's FEMA guidelines that dictate that trees are not permitted within 15 feet of the structure foundation. So they will be removed, but to mitigate the adverse impacts on the community, this project will plant new trees elsewhere in the city. Garden Street, also within the expanded Harborside Park at the completion of the project. Also, I wanted to note there may be unforeseen subsurface conditions or situations that may arise during construction. So in those situations, work can be stopped at locations and moved further along the alignment to allow for continued construction progress while resolving potential conflicts. And also there will be periods where the contractor may need to revisit locations throughout the duration of this project. This slide dictates some of the it dictates the Elysian Charter temporary pickup and drop-off zone. It'll be located on the northern side of 14th Street near the Garden Street corner. And also the Park and Garden temporary pickup, drop-off, and delivery zone will be on 14th Street between 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. After moving along Garden Street, work will commence and work into the alleyway between Garden and Washington Street. This work will continue in a linear progression, as I highlighted earlier. And I would like to note that the alleyway will be closed while work is occurring in this area. Did I lose you? If somebody could pipe in, I don't know if I got cut off.
No, you're good.
Good.
Apologize. Potential technical difficulty here. So quality of life. Quality of life impacts will be monitored. The construction work will be performed within the permissible noise and vibration levels, and it will be consistently monitored. The contractor will also be implementing their submitted approved plans for noise, dust, vibration. In the event noise or vibration or dust levels exceed acceptable limits, the contractor will advise the construction manager and appropriate actions will be taken. Traffic and maintenance protection will be ongoing throughout the project. Periodic lane shifts or lane closures will be in close coordination with Hoboken Police Department. In addition, the Hoboken Police Department Office of Emergency Management will assist with traffic flow for any lane closures and provide traffic control officers to guide pedestrians. Also, access to the Hoboken terminal and path will be maintained, and coordination will occur with New Jersey Transit. Also, no parking signs will be posted, and no lane closures or New Jersey Transit bus detours are expected at this time. And then I guess as wrapping up, would like to note that there'll be another update on this project currently anticipated sometime early 2025. With that, I guess, RJ, do I hand it back to you?
Sure. Thank you, Chris. We actually don't have any questions at the time, but maybe we'll just take a minute, a pause here. If there's anyone in the audience that joined late, there's a Q&A feature within Zoom. Please feel free to click on that and enter your question. We will respond promptly. Oops. We had a question about posting the presentation from November. I believe the last presentation was in April. Someone on the DP, I believe all presentations that have been given should be on your project website. Do you have any insights into the location of those?
It should be on the website, but we'll see what we can do about finding the link and putting, posting an answer here.
Sure. Thank you. Just want to acknowledge the question from Lenore. We appreciate your support of the work we're getting, but apologize for the disruptions. We're certainly working to minimize those to the best we can.
Hi, RJ. This is John Miller with the DEP. I just wanted to address the November public meeting is posted to our website. If you go to our website and click on meetings and updates, it should be right towards the bottom of the page, both the presentation and the recording.
Great, thank you. We received a question. Is there a place that we can see representation of the completed work? My guess is that's in response to the resist structure elements versus work that's being done in Harborside Park.
It's like RJ, the answer to that would be that there currently is a section of what would be the resist structure with no amenities. It currently is in Harborside Park. I believe it is behind fencing, so it's difficult to see. There is going to be construction of another sample in the south that work has not yet started. So we will let everybody know when it's completed so that people can actually see it. And that one will have amenities on it as well.
Great, thanks, Frank. Actually, Brian clarified he's interested in renderings. If actually, I think, Chris, if you're still controlling the presentation, there were some renderings of both the north and the south, what the finished product will look like. That might help answer some of the questions for Brian.
Yeah, so you can see that I changed the screen, correct?
Yeah, so this is a rendering of what it'll look like on between Garden Street and Washington. If you could also flip through the other portions of it. So
This is Garden Street. This is up by the CVS on Washington Street, working way down to Observer or Observer in Washington.
we also received a question asking about providing an update on the color of materials and when we'd be able to see a sample of those.
So I think I can answer that question, Councilwoman. So tonight, I mean, we're focused really on construction updates, but as a result of the last meeting, we did ask for those samples. So while we don't have any design updates related to the color this evening, we definitely heard your concerns related to the color, and the contractor is working on providing some samples, fabricating them so that we can consider any potential changes. So we'll be back to you as soon as we have those samples.
Thank you, Jennifer. So I'm going to give maybe another minute or two for other questions. But well, if there's no more questions, I just want to thank everyone for their time tonight. As Chris mentioned, this is one meeting, and there will be additional meetings as the project moves forward, and there's additional construction updates to provide. And I definitely want to encourage everyone to reach out to us through the various communication channels that we have, whether it's the email or the project website. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thanks, RJ.